Hello, geometry students, and welcome to lesson 11.1.3, where now we're going to add in the idea of finding surface area and volume of a cone, okay? Which is very similar to finding surface area and volume of a pyramid. It's also very similar to a cylinder that we did previously. So if you take a look at the warm-up, let me go back. You're finding just the surface area of this first one. So make sure you find the area of each one of these triangular parts and add up the four triangles. You've got the base and then three triangular sides. So make sure you're looking at that. This one, you're going to find the volume of this figure. Remember, area of the base times the height, and then it's 1/3 because of the fact that it's coming to a point because it's a pyramid and not a prism. Don't forget the 1/3. And there again, here's the work that goes along with it. You can kind of take a look and make sure that you're doing things correctly. If we get into the actual lesson about a cone, here's the math notes. So they're talking about volume and lateral surface of a cone. So if you notice, the volume, just like a pyramid, is 1/3. Blow that up a little bit. 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. It's the exact same formula. The only thing that changes is the base area is now a circle rather than a rectangle or a hexagon or a square or something like that. You just have a circular base. But otherwise, you find volume the exact same way. Matter of fact, if we come down here, remember to find the area of a circle, it's pi times the radius squared. So in this case, you can just kind of plug that in, and it's very quick to find the volume. Okay. Let me fix that. So now, let me go back to this. So now if you take a look at this, once again, they put this L here, okay? When we were talking about pyramids, L is your slant height. So same exact idea when we did pyramids. It's labeled as L, if you will. So that is your slant height that you're dealing with there. That is going to come into play when you go through and you find the surface area, which we'll talk about shortly. Okay? So if we take a look, here's the lesson. We are going to try to find the surface area and the volume of the cone. Okay. So if you take a look at volume, that should be pretty straightforward. 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the cone. Here's that formula that we were just talking about. Radius is given to you in the problem. It's 4. Height is 11. All we have to do is plug it in. We end up with a volume of 184.3. Okay. Then if we take a look at the next part, if we're trying to find the surface area, what we're taking a look at is we have the actual cone portion, okay, which is going to be right here, pi times the radius times the slant height. That's what that L is. So we have the radius of 4. We do not have the slant height, but just like we did with pyramids, notice right here, all we're doing is the Pythagorean theorem to find it. Okay? So our slant height turns out to be 11.7. And if we plug that in, pi times our radius times our slant height, you get a 147.1. The only thing that I would like you to add in that this book does not do, and it does not show it, is to that, technically this is sitting kind of on a circular base. I'd like you to find the area of that circular base as well and add it to the cone portion. So there's really two parts to surface area. There's the lateral area, which is the cone part, and then there's the circular base on the bottom, which is, again, remember, just pi times the radius squared. Okay. So if we continue and we take a look at that, notice where we talk about cones, here's that 1/3 pi r squared, area of your base, times your height. That should be no surprise. And then here's what I was talking about with surface area. The lateral area, the actual cone part, is just pi times the radius times your slant height. But the surface area, if we add in the circular base, you got to add that pi r squared to it. Okay, so that's what we're adding to that to get the total surface area. Here's a video that's explaining. It does have pyramids in it as well. So it's not a bad thing to go back and take a look at that, as well as adding cones to it. So there's a link to that on YouTube. And then the practice problems, here's your cones where you've got the radius and the slant height on this one. You're going to have to find the actual height of the cone. Okay, so you're going to do Pythagorean theorem. Here you have the height and the radius. You're going to have to find the slant height in order to get the volume and surface area. And then here, number 3 is very similar to number 1, just with different numbers. And finally, number 4, you are given the base circumference. Remember, circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. So you're going to need to use the circumference to find the radius. And then you'll have the height as well. So it turns out that it'll end up kind of being a picture like this, where you use the circumference to get the radius, you've got the height, and then again you'll have to go through and find the volume of it in that case. But you're going to use your circumference to find the radius. Okay. Again, answers as always are here. Make sure you're checking those. And once again, if you're struggling at all on any of this stuff, please send me an email and let me know what's going on. Join me in the chat room, or we'll set up a WebEx if we're really lost and nothing's making sense. Notice on number 4, by the way, all you had to do was find the volume. You did not have to find the surface area. Okay? Hopefully that makes some sense, and you've got the resources you need to hopefully be successful. If not, let me know. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.